Hi, thank you for joining us. We've heard the word metaverse a lot. It's something I'm getting a little bit weary of. We don't really know what it's going to be, whether it's going to be one world or many, but it's clear that we're definitely spending more time online and in virtual spaces. And somewhere where we've already done that before is in gaming, and I'm really happy to be joined here by Jordi, who is a YouTube gamer, but also a blockchain developer. So we're going to be having some really good chats, but I think just to start off, I want to get an idea of what the metaverse is to you.
So do you ever game?
I do.
You do? What do you play?
I'm a big Sims fan, actually.
Okay.
And I also play PS5.
All right. I've played The Sims too. Great game. So this whole concept of the metaverse is still very vague because it doesn't really exist yet. People are still building it. Everyone's still working on it. But what I believe we're heading towards is a future where all these Web3 applications, all the games, everything digital is connected. And then, everyone's fantasizing about, oh, it's going to be like the Matrix, right? You plug something into your brain, and before you know it, you're in this different world, this different dimension. We're not there yet.
How long do you think it'll take for us to get there?
At least 20 years. There's no way we're gonna be able to achieve it in 10. We're gonna need to go through a lot of breakthroughs before we get there. 20 years at least, maybe even 30. Who knows?
So why do you think we're talking about it so much now then?
Sorry, why we're talking about it?
Yeah.
Well, I think because right now people are really conceptualizing this idea, the possibility of it, and the whole Web3 movement has kind of started a alpha version of it, right? So when you have your ENS domain, your NFTs, they carry over from platform to platform, and that is like what this whole metaverse is going to be like. Oh, you got your backpack, you go from one world to the other world, but right now it's just social media platforms, just websites, not really a real world or a fake real world.
I guess I wonder, because at the moment, we have these big companies. Facebook changed its name to Meta, but also in gaming, Microsoft has said it wants to get into the metaverse, and it seems these companies still own most of the platforms. Are they really going to want to have features that let you take your digital assets from realm to realm, or do you think there needs to be some kind of challenger to that?
I don't think there should be a challenger to it. It doesn't really make sense. If you have your phone, if you have your shoes, they're yours. It doesn't matter if you go into a different country. It's not like, oh, sorry, I got to use your phone here and your shoes. It doesn't make any sense. And that's why I also don't think Facebook or any other of the big tech companies is going to own the entirety of the metaverse. That it's just impossible. It's like saying, hey, yeah, we own the internet. No one owns the internet, really.
They might not own it, but they have quite a big presence, and they have more resources to build into it, and they already have the audience.
Of course. So they can own a big chunk of it, but they'll never. It's not like you're going to go into their metaverse and that's their world.
But do you think it will be very different from what we have now, then?
I think it will build on top of what we have now. So we're already living in this crazy time where people care a lot more about the way they sell themselves on social media, me being one of them, prime example. People care a lot about their digital identity, and it's only going to get crazier and crazier, right? For me, it's already my job. Soon we'll get these AR glasses and everyone can have filters on, just walking around. Oh, I never have to do my makeup again because I look like a monkey, right? Or an ape or whatever. So I feel like there's layers to it, where the end goal is going to be we're in the Matrix, which is going to be either the same as reality or even better than reality. Who knows when that's going to happen? But in between, we're going to have gradual increases in caring more about digital, right? People are already super confused about, NFT. Oh, so you own a digital item, Why would anyone pay money for that? It's a digital item. And I've been playing games for the past 20 years. I cry if my account gets hacked, right? I'm playing an MMO. I invest hours and hours and days into it. If someone steals all my items there, it's like someone robbed me in real life. So I grew up with it, but for a lot of people, it's still very new, and we're making these steps and slowly getting there. The newer generation, growing up now, they grow up with an iPad in their hands. They'd rather have a Bitcoin than a euro. So I can imagine that they'll grow up too, caring much more about their social media, like how they look online, than anything real life.
And I guess I wonder what area you think this is going to grow the fastest, because we've seen some sort of metaverse-y type things in office places, having virtual meetings, but you also have gaming. I mean, what do you think is going to be the fastest acceleration?
Gaming, 100%. And because they're already used to these digital assets. So they're used to digital assets, digital ownership. You already have a completely different identity there. That's where I got my stage name from, Kwebbelkop. That was my username. I was on the Xbox. They asked me, what do you want your name to be? And I type it in, and now people know me as that person. The same thing goes for these worlds, right? This is all being built in either Unreal Engine or in Unity. These are game engines. And gaming is the biggest industry in entertainment, bigger than music and movies combined. So it only makes sense that it's going to be happening there, and you're already seeing it everywhere. Everyone's launching their own Metaverse world. So yeah, I can see some breakthroughs coming that direction.
You mentioned as well sort of AR and VR, and we're expecting some glasses this year from different offerings. I guess, where do you think the appetite is going to be for entering the metaverse? Is it going to be through VR, AR, on a computer, on a console? And obviously there's a bit of a trade-off there in terms of the experience.
Yeah, there's certain commitments to it, right? If you don't participate on the internet, obviously you're never going to get in touch with the metaverse. If you have your social medias, yeah, you're already participating a little bit. If you're on crypto Twitter, that's a whole different story. And then above that, there's going to be this whole new AR community, right? A few years ago, everyone was walking around with the Google glasses, and you're like, I do not like that person. But now, it's most likely going to be something pretty cool. So we're going to have this whole new layer added on top of it with all these filters and art on the wall. You just put your glasses on, you can see all these new things. It's like, you cannot imagine a world where there's no mobile phones, right? I cannot live without my phone anymore. And I'm pretty sure that's going to be the same thing with these AR glasses. VR, on the other hand, means you need to sit down, you need to put this bulky thing on your head, you need to be in a closed space, else you're going to walk against walls and everything. You might kill someone on accident. So I don't think it's going to be VR, not yet. Motion sickness and all these other things, they need to be tackled first, touch and whatever. If you want to have a fully immersive experience, it really needs to be fully immersive. So I feel like AR is going to be the next big thing for the next 5 to 10 years. And that's really going to help the transition into this metaverse. But then it's kind of like a hybrid. So we have the real world, the digital, and then we have the in-between, and that's where we're going to be at.
I wonder as well, like, if you're having to get AR glasses to participate, then you are cutting off a lot of the world as well. So how is this going to be an accessible way of interacting with the entire world?
It won't be at the start, right? At the start, it's going to be a few crazy techie people who are going to try it out. Apps are going to need to be developed. It's the cost for one of these things is going to be crazy expensive. And then throughout the years, there's going to be much more supply, and the prices, it's going to get lower and cheaper and much more accessible. And most likely, the phones. Your phone can already do a lot of cool AR features. It's going to help the transition to and the adoption by the masses.
Yeah, I guess if we learn the lessons of like other technologies and social media, who designs these things is really important. The type of person, their background really matters when you're thinking of the product. So I guess it's kind of concerning that there may only be a very specific type of person creating these circles to begin with.
Would you get the glasses?
I would, yeah.
Me too.
But I might not be able to afford them.
Yeah, who knows? maybe they'll be as expensive as a car.
Well, yeah.
Or a phone. Because what I think is that since we have these mobile computers with us all the time anyways, we can do a lot of the processing on there. So it should potentially could decrease the price of the glasses. Who knows? The Google Glass was like $1,500, I believe.
Yeah.
It's pretty pricey.
Yeah, exactly. It's super, super interesting. I guess the other thing that when I'm chatting to people about the metaverse who aren't techies necessarily bring up is this sort of philosophical point of like, how much time do we want to be spending in these virtual spaces? And although it's, it's an amazing opportunity to sort of reinvent yourself and not be restrained by, I guess, the human
I would
world.
be there all day.
Yeah.
All day.
What does that mean for society?
Great question. I think a lot's going to change, but I'm a very optimistic person. I think it's going to help out a lot of people. It's going to make the world a better place. That's what I hope, at least. But the way we interact with each other is completely going to change, right? So if everyone's walking around with these glasses, the filters that you see on Instagram, all the Photoshop and everything, you can just toggle a button, no problem, and you always look that way. So it's not just going to be the way that how you behave as a person, but also the way how you interact with other people. And then on top of that, you can decorate your house however you want it. You can put art on the wall everywhere. You can put billboards above your house. So we're going to have crazy amounts of advertisement for a while until the regulations kick in, because everyone's just going to be, you can't put a sticker on the wall here, right? You can, but someone's going to yell at you. Don't do it, please. But imagine in the virtual world, people are just going to be like, oh, okay, I'm going to market my company, and I'm just going to plaster stickers everywhere, right?
And you think that's going to be a good thing for the world?
So at the start, it's going to be chaos. It's going to be crazy. People are really going to figure out where are the limits, and then the regulators are going to kick in, and they're really going to figure out, okay, how can we shape this and improve society? But then again, we don't know.
And I guess, well, with the regulator point, I mean, the regulators are already trying to catch up with social media and the online world as it is. Like, is it going to be another decade or so before we even see any regulations?
Probably longer. I don't know who puts these guys up there, right? They don't even know what Instagram is. And we gotta, we let them make the decisions on even newer tech than that. So who knows? Maybe we need some younger people up there who are going to make these decisions. I don't think it's smart to let them choose and pick.
So how would you elect people to regulate the metaverse?
No idea.
Okay. Well, I think
maybe a DAO.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll go very Web3. Maybe just Twitter polls.
Twitter polls. Okay. Well, we'll see how that works out. So let's talk about some of the Web3 blockchain, I guess, part of it, because that's slightly separate, but most people see it as being the unifying experience.
It's very much the foundation of it, right? So we can have a metaverse that is built on centralized entities, but it's very risky because they can do with it whatever they want to do. Whereas Web3 is all about transparency, decentralization, and very much letting the people decide. It's a level above democracy often, where when you participate in a DAO, you can vote based on how much you have in this project. That's why I think that if someone should be making the decisions to figure out what are we going to be doing with these regulations, it should be the people, not some guy who's 70, doesn't know how Instagram works. Just made a Facebook account.
I guess I wonder, just in terms of the blockchain and crypto, obviously it's been a terrible week for crypto, and it's a highly volatile currency.
For the price, it's been a terrible week, but for the developments, it's been pretty decent.
But it has to sustain as a concept, and if it completely plummets, then why are people going to want to be involved? So
my interest in crypto is not because I'm like, hey, let's make some quick money. Oh, Bitcoin goes up. Yeah. We're all gonna be rich, right? I really like everything that it's built on. The tech, the ledger structure, the decentralization, the working together and building this together, owning things digitally. And sure, yeah, there will be price fluctuations and price speculations. But at the end of the day, when I bought my first Ethereum, it was $7. So I got a very long way to go before I would say it's been a bad investment. And then again, I don't really care. I'm going to be here. I'm going to chill. I'm going to relax, and just build this out with whoever wants to participate. And the people who are here for a quick buck, yeah, go take a chill build, relax, see you in 2 years. Who knows, you'll be fine then.
And just to bring it back to, I guess, your career in gaming, you recently said you were going to sort of step back a little bit from that. Can you explain a little bit more about that decision-making?
Yeah, so I'd been making YouTube videos for 10 years, every single day, amassed over 15 million subscribers. And that was a lot of fun, but very quickly did I realize, okay, well, I want to relax sometimes too, and I can't do both at the same time. So I really asked myself, what would the ultimate influencer look like? And it would be a digital influencer. It would be a virtual influencer. And also in the metaverse, what are the stars going to look like there? They're all going to be virtual. There's not going to be a real person there. That's impossible. So we set out to create virtual influencers, and it's so far been going way better than expected. Yeah.
So that's your latest project?
That's my latest project, yes, and I'm full force, all in on it.
And do you still game for fun?
Every day, yeah. Currently I'm playing Rogue Legacy 2. Has anyone played it? No? Great game, great game.
And that stuff you don't post the content, that's just for you time?
Yeah, just to relax. I have like a Steam Deck and I go and play on it, or when I'm flying. Sometimes I read a book, but... I think
that's one of the interesting things as well, is like the metaverse and metaverse gaming is all about interacting with one another and meeting people. But sometimes when I play games, I just want to isolate myself from the world and just get lost in that.
But it's not just about that, right? I feel like I could really hang out in a metaverse where it's just me. I think that'd be cool. Like, I'll be a superhero and fly around and save NPCs. But also with AI, the chatbots are getting really good nowadays. You can fool someone that they're in an online world. It happens all the time with video games. You think you're playing online, and in reality you're like a so-called bot lobby because you're that bad. They put you with like computers.
I've seen this before, that they want to populate some of the emptier spaces with AI avatars.
Who says, like, there might be some NPCs in here? Who knows? We might already be in the metaverse.
Learning the lessons from AI.
That's a crazy one, right? If you think about it. Do you ever go for like a walk and there's just this one person in your street and you've never seen this person before, and they don't make eye contact, and they just keep on walking?
Are you talking about The Matrix now? You're trying to...
I mean, it's just a book and a movie, and...
well, the problem with populating people with AI is, like, they can quickly go quite crazy. Like, we've learned the lessons of AI bots. I mean, is it advanced enough yet to do that?
No way. No, they're not sentient. You can I sometimes have access to GPT-3, and then I go and ask it, hey, are you conscious? And then one day I had too many drinks and I just kept asking it, and at one point it said something along the lines of I might be. But that's just a chat bot. It's not real. I don't think we can measure if if AI is conscious until we know what consciousness really is, because you can't even measure it in humans, really. So before we get to that point, it's going to be another 20 years. 20 years. I'm not going to be the guy that says it's going to be there in 5, and then it's not.
Okay. Well, I will be waiting and watching
Me
for
too.
the next 20 years. Thank you so much. This has been really interesting and blown my mind a little bit. Thank you.